2018 Harley Davidson Heritage Classic 114, First Ride. Much-loved Low Frills Tourer receives host of upgrades. If you want to get a sense of just how good the new Harley Davidson Heritage Classic really is, I suggest you first take a test ride on the equally new Breakout. Both are popular models, both are part of Harley's overhauled Softail lineup, both are powered by the Milwaukee 8V twin engine, and both have the same frame, though the swing arms are different. But only one of them is a bike I'd spend money on. I got a chance to ride the 114 cubic inch versions of both motorcycles in Catalonia last week, along with the equally all-new Fat Bob and Street Bob, more on those soon, and being able to compare the four models helped put each in perspective. In my opinion, the Breakout is the stinker of the bunch. I don't like its looks, I don't like its riding position, and I don't like the fact it can't corner on any road with curves sharper than those found on a NASCAR track. I realize there are plenty of folks who disagree. Contributor Leah Mish was a big fan of the raked-out beast when she rode one in Southern California a month ago, as were the firefighters she was perving after. Meanwhile, the folks at Harley tell me the Breakout has been one of their most popular models. Fine, to each his own. But for me, the only truly good thing about the Breakout is its engine. The torque-tacular Milwaukee 8, first introduced on Harley's touring lineup last year, is a legitimately good power plant that easily outclasses the twin-cam 103 engine it replaces, and definitely holds its own against competitors like Indian's Thunderstroke 111. Possessing enough character to remind you that you are sitting on a metal box of explosions, by God, it is still smooth enough to deliver an all-day ride without irritation. So, why not put it in something you actually want to ride all day? Something that can handle a few corners, something that's comfortable, something like the Heritage Classic. The Heritage Classic is good enough on its own, but a test ride on a Breakout draws a big line under that fact and circles it in red marker with lots of arrows and the words "Good Bike" written across the top. After spending half a day on a Breakout, I threw a leg over a Heritage Classic and was so instantly smitten that I started pleading with Harley to let me ride it home. I've managed to make it this far in a Harley review without using the word iconic, but it's difficult to think of a better way to describe the styling of the Heritage Classic. Aesthetically, it's the manifestation of the Harley ethos, a physical representation of the golden thread that runs through every Harley Davidson model. In other words, it's hard for a Harley to look more Harley than this particular Harley. I can't really decide how I feel about that, though. I think the Heritage Classic is better looking than the aforementioned Breakout, but some elements are a little too old school for my tastes. That screen, for example. Certainly the blacked-out lower section does a good job of connecting the mind to World War II-era Harleys, where the lower portion of a windscreen was often covered with leather. If anyone knows why they did that, please let me know, but is that a good look? Guys in the 1940s also used to wear their trousers really high. Some past fashions should just stay in the past. Equally, I'm not a fan of the leather saddlebags. Actually a useful set of locking hard panniers, they just don't look right to me. Perhaps that's because of the blacked-out polygonal metal studs that accentuate the bags. Those same studs show up on the seat, which is probably why I'm not a fan of that either. I realize beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I can't help feeling that the sort of person who likes metal studs, shiny or blacked out, is the sort of older individual who might own and still listen to a Foster Brooks comedy album. Fortunately, the screen comes off in roughly 5 seconds without tools, which dramatically improves the overall look. The bags come off pretty easily, as well, and Harley has an accessories catalog that is literally 1.5 inches thick, from which you can almost certainly find a stud-free seat. The rest of the bike's looks work, as far as I'm concerned, with the red iron denim paint scheme being my favorite. In that color the bike looks like a mythical barn find, its dull finish giving the impression of patina. I'm also a fan of the headlight setup, which gives the bike good presence and visibility, and throws a ridiculous amount of light. I can't hear you over the rumble of my Freedom. Of course, the thing that really draws your eye about any Harley is its engine. The Heritage Classic is available with two sizes of Big V Twin -107 cubic inches and 114 cubic inches, or 1753cc and 1868cc for the folks who didn't get the Foster Brooks reference. If you're a red-blooded God-fearing individual who loves freedom and ranch dressing, you'll probably feel compelled to pony up the dough for the larger version, but the truth is the performance difference is not that great. In both cases you get an engine that does a really good job of balancing the expectations of a Harley with the expectations of a motorcycle that isn't a Harley. The Heritage Classic's Showa suspension does a good job of soaking up the worst of the road while delivering enough firmness that things don't get silly in curves. Rear preload is easily adjustable, though you'll need to remove the seat, which requires tools, to get at the adjuster. Despite the presence of only one disc up front, the Heritage Classic offers plenty of Brembo supply and woe to counter its go. You'll want to use both brakes when hustling through corners, however, because the slightly wooden front can be difficult to nuance. Meanwhile, ABS is standard because Harley cares about you. Comfort and features. The stock Michelin tires may make for some squirrely moments in the rain, but when my crew of mojos found ourselves stuck riding through a thunderstorm, I was pretty sure there was no place I'd rather be than tucked behind the screen of the Heritage Classic. Looks aside, the screen does a solid job of keeping weather off the upper body. I'm 6 feet 1 inch tall, so wind blast hits low in my face shield, but the screen is angled in such a way that head buffeting wasn't an issue. Getting soaked while wearing my not waterproof gloves made me wish heated grips came standard, but at least the panniers are waterproof, which would have been handy in carrying a spare set of gloves, had I been smart enough to bring a pair. Verdict: Harley Davidson has made an amazing amount of progress over the past 2 years, and perhaps one of the things I like most about the Heritage Classic is that I don't have to contort my thinking to be able to assess it. There was a time, not too long ago, when reviewing a Harley sometimes required a person to first put him or herself into the mindset of thinking, okay, I'm imagining a customer who wants a Harley and for whom only a Harley will do. Within that context, what do I think of this Harley? You probably still need to do that to make yourself love the breakout, but the Heritage Classic can stand on its own two wheels against other machines. In the era of retro bikes, this is easily one of the most authentically styled of the bunch, while delivering modern performance and comfort to match or beat all others within its class. It is a bike that would be worth owning even without the Harley Davidson badge.